This is Tank's Vlog, April 16th, 2018, wrapping up the day in sports. Day 2 of the NBA playoffs saw 4 rounds begin their series. As the NBA traditionally does, you have half the playoff series begin on Saturday and the other half begin on Sunday. And the big story is the Indiana Pacers beating the Cleveland Cavaliers. Yes, the Cavaliers have been to the finals 3 straight years, and most people expect them to return. As even though they struggled most of the second half, they were supposed to turn on the switch. But when they went to turn on the switch, they got as Victor Oladipo had a big day. Pacers led 33-14 at the end of the first period and never looked back. LeBron James might have gotten a triple-double, but every time the Cavaliers looked to make their run, the Pacers answered. They got the lead within single digits, but Pacers finished strong, 25-15, outscoring them in the fourth quarter. It's a blunt LeBron James triple-double. You know, I'm starting to think triple-doubles are overrated. They might be overrated. Speaking of triple-doubles, Mr. Triple-Double, Russell Westbrook and his Thunder began the series against the Utah Jazz. But it wasn't Russell Westbrook who had the big night. It was Paul George, who had 36 points and 7 rebounds, as the Thunder beat the Jazz 116-108. The game of the day happened in Boston, as the Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks played back-and-forth basketball all game, with Chris Middleton hitting a absolute ridiculous three-pointer, with only having 0.5 seconds left to make the shot, and he made the shot, but in overtime, it was the Celtics winning 113-107. And in the nightcap, the Houston Rockets were kind of shaky. They got a big game from James Harden with 44 points. But at the end of the game, they had to barely hang on as they beat the Minnesota Timberwolves 104-101. Timberwolves might be the 8th seed, but I'd say they're no pushovers. They got some good talent on that team. You got Jeff Teague, Jimmy Butler, and of course Karl Anthony Towns. So the Rockets better not take the Timberwolves too lightly. I think they'll win the series easily, but Timberwolves are a better team than their record suggests. They had some injuries with Butler missing some time there, and that's the only reason why they're such a low seed. They could have easily been the 3rd seed, if you ask me. Playoff hockey continued on Sunday, and it was a correction. Penguins began the series with a 7-0 blowout, but stumbled in Game 2. This time they bounced back in Game 3 in Philadelphia. 5-1 win. 4-point game by Sidney Crosby. Crosby is just off to a monster start in the playoffs. Meanwhile, his regular season equal and postseason, he's not even close to being equal. Alex Ovechkin had 2 goals early for the Capitals, who once again blew it, losing in overtime 5-4. They now go to Columbus down 2-0. Oh, shrinky-dink, shrinky-dink, shrinky-dink. In the regular season, your play is so good. But when it comes to the postseason, you just are rinky-dink. How is it that the Capitals win division after division after division? Ovechkin leads the league in goal scoring every year, and they can't get to a conference final. They're done. They're done. Stick a fork in the Washington Capitals. They're done. This time they're not even going to make the second round. The Columbus Blue Jackets have never won a postseason series. But now they're going to because they went up against the Shrinky Dinks. Oh, brother Washington. So much talent. So many great players. And you can't get to a conference final. Forget the Stanley Cup. You can't get to a conference final. I don't think there's ever been a team that year after year after year after year after year after year fails more epically in the postseason than the Washington Capitals. Out west, the snow fell in Minnesota. The Winnipeg Jets had a little trouble getting into the Twin Cities, but they might as well have stayed home because the Wild just got everything going tonight. Won 6-2. They lost the first two in Winnipeg. Now they answered. Now they'll have to still win Game 4 to make this a series, I think. But at least they're not going to get swept. That may not be the same said for the Los Angeles Kings, who had an early 1-0 lead. But the Vegas Knights scored 3 times in the third period, including 2 goals in 21 seconds. They won 3-2 and now have a 3-0 series lead. Every time you start doubting the Vegas Golden Knights, they just continue to win. Amazing. This is still an expansion team. Baseball. Oh, the weather outside was frightful, and many games were canceled. Even though it was bitter cold, the Mets still played another game. I was out there Saturday night. When I left my apartment, it was at 78 degrees. By the second inning, it was 49, and it felt like it was in the low 30s. I didn't bring a jacket. I'll never make that mistake again. Oh, God, it was cold. It was miserable. And today, it was even colder. 42 and windy. They were saying that the wind chill was somewhere around 25. Oh, but this man battled. He might have had a shaky first inning, and unfortunately got his pitch count up. You got to get your pitch count down. You got to get your pitch count down. But 8 strikeouts in a row. He was dealing. Unfortunately, he left. The Mets fell behind 2-1, but as the Mets have so many times this year, Brandon Nimmo answered right away with a home run, and in the 9th inning, Wilmer Flores sent everyone home to warmer conditions with a walk-off home run. And unfortunately, Yoenis Cespedes, come on, yo. The Gatorade? That was just cruel. So the Mets salt up another victory, another series win, which is the most important thing. You got to win series, and they're now 12-2 on the season. Could not be happier with their start. Boston Red Sox, meanwhile, they swept. Oh, actually, no, this isn't a sweep. They played. I forgot they played Monday. That's the wraparound series. It's Patriots Day. Well, they won 3 straight against the Orioles. They'll look for the sweep Monday morning, beating them 3-1. They're now 13-2. The Cardinals beat the Reds 3-2. How bad are the Reds? The Pirates beat the Marlins 7-3. The Phillies beat the Rays 10-4. How bad are the Rays? The Rockies rallied to beat the Nationals 6-5. The Dodgers avoided a sweep at the hands of Arizona, winning 7-2 in the finale of the series. The A's, with a home run by Jed Lowry, beat the Mariners 2-1. The Padres beat the Giants 10-1. Bartolo Colon flirted with a perfect game, not allowing a base runner or a hit until the 8th inning. Justin Verlander was just as good, and the game went to extra innings with the Rangers winning 3-1. And basically the rest of the schedule was rained out, including the Yankees and Tigers, Blue Jays and Indians. They were snowed out in Minnesota with the White Sox and Twins. Angels and Royals, Braves and Cubs. I don't remember April this cold, this awful, this horrendous weather-wise. Alright, our 3 stars of the day are James Harden of the Rockets, Sidney Crosby of the Penguins, and Carlos Martinez, who had 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs allowed, earned runs allowed, and 11 strikeouts in their Cardinals win over the Reds. Today's birthday shout-out goes to arguably the greatest basketball player of all time, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who turned 71. And we take a look back to 1940, opening day. Chicago White Sox, and they have no hits. Yes, that's right. The White Sox were no hit on opening day by Bob Feller on this date in 1940. Check out the full story at Barstool Sports and Sports Encyclopedia, where sports history lives. Good day.